Last house episode we looked at decking the concrete stairs that ran down from our entrance, and since then it's kind of got out of hand. Hey guys, I'm Daryl. Welcome to the channel. The last couple of episodes on the house we've looked at firstly decking the concrete slab to the entrance to the house, and I'll link to it up here. The next one was decking the stairs that led up to that entrance. We left the bottom stair, and that was there was a reason for that. And yeah, it's kind of got out of hand, and let's pan back and we can see what we've been up to. So as you can see, I haven't been goofing off. It's just about done. I still have some trim pieces to put in, but you can see where I've been spending my time, and there's been a heap of time into this thing. Now at this point, let's have a quick chat about what we're originally going to do and what we've turned out with. Originally, I do have a landscape architect who's done a planting plan and landscape plan of the block, which I'm following mostly, but not entirely, and especially with this. She had the top platform which finished at the stairs, directing traffic onto the driveway, and this down here was supposed to be planting. When I marked out what the top platform would be, it really wasn't that good, and it was, you know, directing people onto a driveway that's got a bit of a slope, and I don't think it's a good thing, especially when you've got elderly family coming over. So we decided we'd run the decking down to the road and we'd have a separate entrance that would be quite suitable for anyone coming to the house. So what we ended up doing, I decided 3 platforms with a step in between. Good practice and a legal requirement is to have your riser height on the stairs to be identical. So I measured the riser height on the stairs we've already decked that go up to the entrance decking, and we've made all the stairs, the riser heights identical. With these stairs, I've probably made the stairs slightly wider because it's always good to have a nice wide stair. And then it's basically working out, well, my drop, if I'm putting a stair between each platform, will be double my riser height. We don't have the platforms in line. It was just all too formal for this type of area and house. So I've offset the platforms. The offset was basically on design on the fly, on aesthetics, and as you can see on this side, we're just putting the planting around the platforms so that it sits the platforms down, and you don't see the whole lot at once. At the moment, I still need to put some turf here, but it's winter in Australia. This can stay like that until spring, and hopefully I'll have the rest of it ready to go for turf then. The top platform I've run out to the side of the house, we'll probably put a large pot there. At this point it's still not finished. I still need to just do some more framing around it, just cover strips, and the top deck at the side I need to enclose under the deck. It's a legal requirement in my area with bushfire. Again, we've used the spotted gum as the decking, 86 by 19 I think it is, and at the sides I've used the 135 by 19 spotted gum, and it's worked out fine. To frame it up, the posts are 90 by 90 H4 treated pine because they go into the ground and you need H4. You know, they're down your 700 mils or whatever and concreted in. All the framing for all the platforms is 140 by 45 from memory. 140 by 45, that's it, it's 140 by 45. That's H3 treated pine. Remember, H4 goes into the ground, H3 is fine for outside, doesn't touch the surface of the ground. Basically all you're doing is making a frame to the size that you want. I then just propped it up, just using some rocks and bricks and everything to get my levels. Then just dug my holes for my posts, cemented those in, coach bolted those to the frame, and then did the bearers. I nailed all those in and then went back and put in galvanised saddles for everything. So this thing's not going to go anywhere. Again, for the screws for the decking, it's all stainless steel spacks, and I'm probably 500 bucks in now for screws. They're about 32 cents each, so you don't waste any. And to be honest, I've probably wasted about 2 on the whole project so far, but it's a really nice look. What I've tried to do throughout is make all my screw lines flow for the whole project, so when you walk up there's a line of sight for each screw line, and it's worked out quite well. Now back to construction. Your stair platform, again, you're just building a smaller platform of the larger ones, because the larger ones will already be in situ at double riser height, and they'll be coach bolted to your uprights. You then just make a smaller platform to get your riser height. I've just cut down some packing that goes underneath it and bolt the back of the stair through your upright with coach bolts, and tie it all down with galvanised ties. So it's a fairly simple job. It's just a really big job. Again, with the decking on this, but I also have tried to get full length pieces for the whole job. So there's no cuts on the actual decking itself. They're just one piece across the whole thing, which has been a bit of a problem again, because getting timber has been interesting. And the reason that I can do the one piece decking is because the largest deck is less than 3 metres. We've then oiled it with the same oil that we've used up there, and it's turned out really good. The bottom stair, that's been interesting. Now the bottom step on this, I didn't want yet another decking step, because I think we've just got enough of it, and I wanted to transition between the decking and the decomposed granite that I've used for the small landing space at the bottom. So I live in an area where there's lots and lots of sandstone, and because there's a lot of new houses getting built, they're jackhammering it out sandstone, especially as you get closer and closer to the creek bed at the base of the valley. There's so much of it laying around on building sites. So what I've done is I've taken measurements, or even cardboard templates. I've found very, very flat pieces, and they were really easy to find, the flat pieces. Some of these pieces are very, very heavy, and I may have used the recovery gear and my winch on my Jeep to get it up here, and I may have actually hurt my rib at some point, but anyway, we won't go into that. I've got the same riser height down to these stairs. I've laid them out and done a little bit of crazy paving sort of with this step, and put in a mortar fill between the pieces. That steps down to a decomposed granite base. That stuff is a really nice natural look, and when you mix it with the decomposed granite with an off-white cement, in this case with this colour, and tamp it down, it becomes as hard as concrete. It's a really good thing. The only downside of this is that you will pick up the odd stone or the like, and over time, if it does look a bit off, you can just put a bit more on top and tamp it down. I quite like it. It's quite a good material. All of this I've held in with the cordon garden edging. It's a 150mm high edging, and that just rusts up on the surface and just looks quite natural. So at this point I've still got to do the decomposed granite that comes to the road, but it's getting to the point where it's kind of there. I'm really happy with it. It's been such a big job. And if you're going to tackle this thing, I think my costs for this, for materials, are probably around the $4,500 mark. I'd hate to think what it would cost if I had someone come in to do it. I dare say you'd be looking at somewhere between 15 to 20k. So there's huge benefit if you're going to DIY it. It hasn't been a hard job, but digging things like holes by hand and the like, you're doing it, especially in areas like this where you're digging through sandstone country and there's just rocks everywhere. it's like a Tetris of rocks underneath the surface, and some are little ones and some are really big ones. So when you're digging a post hole, you might get halfway down and find a rock, but it may go 600 mil outside the hole. So it gets a bit interesting sometimes. And if you did have an auger to dig it, it wouldn't go through it because there's so much rock there. So you really do need to dig them by hand. As I said, materials have been quite difficult to get, and I've been running around again getting materials. To make this safe, I've put in some lights on the risers. They work really well and make it safe. I still need to put in some lights on the risers on the steps up to the landing on the entrance. Because when you come out at night, if you don't put on the front light, it's quite dark in that section, but the little LEDs in the risers look really nice, and I've just got those on a dusk to dawn switch, so when it becomes dark they just turn on, and in the morning they turn off, and they're 12 volt, don't take up much electricity, so it works very, very well. If you want to see the actual workings of laying this deck, go back and have a look at either the stair video or the decking to the entrance video, and it's exactly the same. We're just laying them at 5mm spacing using a plastic spacer to get that, and working from the front to the back, so that when we get to the back, if we have to trim down a board in half or the like, you're not seeing it at the front. So you now know where I've been. So next up, I'm going down the bottom because the neighbour still has to put a retaining wall up, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks that'll be done. I've got a rain garden down the bottom. It's a legal requirement in my area to have that, where some of your water waste runs. I'm finishing that off. I've got a car parking spot down there, and then we'll work our way up, and it'll come up fairly quickly because this has been a 3-month project. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.